We're getting set for a busy Groundhog Day across central and eastern Kentucky. The very latest on the severe weather threat is coming up.
Tonight I'm talking to the very people who saw the Bluegrass Stockyards fire even before the emergency responders did.
What Kentucky lawmakers are saying as the state Senate approves a change to the state's informed consent law for abortions.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. The results of the Iowa caucus are coming in, and there's already been a winner declared on the Republican side. Within the last half hour, Senator Ted Cruz became the projected GOP winner in Iowa, pushing aside national frontrunner Donald Trump. He won with strong support among the state's evangelical community and conservative voters.
As for the Democrats, it's still too close to call. Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders are in a narrow race there, but CBS News reports Clinton has a slight edge. Turnout was reported to be very high across Iowa tonight. Meanwhile, two presidential campaigns are coming to an end. Democrat Martin O'Malley plans to suspend his campaign, and Republican Mike Huckabee said he is ending his run. Up next, the New Hampshire primary. That's a week from tomorrow. Keep checking WKYT.com and the WKYT News app for updates. Groundhog Day could feature some wild weather across the state. We could be tracking severe storms tomorrow night.
And that will come after an unseasonably warm day. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has the very latest on this storm threat. Chris?
Yeah, as you mentioned, going to be a busy day across the Bluegrass State tomorrow. Really much of the country impacted by a major storm system that is just now taking shape across parts of the Plain States and Rocky Mountains. Blizzard on the backside, warm air now surging northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of juice with that. Severe thunderstorms breaking out in the warm sector. We're going to be in that sector as we go into the afternoon and especially the evening hours. What you see with this line of thunderstorms popping out ahead of this low is similar to what we're going to be seeing across Kentucky at roughly this time tomorrow night, if not a little before that. Boy, it's a big winter storm that is on the northern edge of that as well. Here across central and eastern Kentucky, your Defender radar network will be very busy tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. That is not the case as of now. So let's look ahead. Tomorrow, busy day, as we mentioned, record highs possible. Storms should arrive after 8 o'clock into much of central Kentucky, deeper into the overnight across the east. Damaging winds would be the primary player. Without thunderstorms, winds are still going to be very gusty. We could be talking about winds tomorrow night that are better than 50 miles per hour. For that reason, a wind advisory is out for much of central and eastern Kentucky. Guys, when I come back in about 10 minutes, we're going to detail each threat that these storms will pose, and I'll show you a brand new hour-by-hour wind gust forecast that goes to close to 60 miles per hour in some cases.
All right, Chris, thank you. A reminder, you can track storms along with the latest traffic with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. Tonight, firefighters are still trying to figure out what caused that massive fire at the Bluegrass Stockyards in Lexington, and now they're asking for the public's help.
Lexington firefighters say anyone who has pictures or videos of the fire before the first fire trucks arrived at the Stockyards Saturday should send those to them. We have more information on how you can do that and where on WKYT.com. Firefighters say right now they do not have reason to believe the fire was set on purpose. Governor Matt Bevin and Kentucky Agricultural Commissioner Ryan Quarles visited the site today and promised the state would help with rebuilding efforts. And new tonight, Monique Blair talked to people living nearby who said they feared the fire would reach their homes. It's our top story at 11.
We're getting used to hearing the cows. You know, when they bring the cows over here, it's kind of sentimental to us. It's sad that it's gone.
The Bluegrass Stockyards, a fixture in this community.
When I seen the stockyard, it was gone.
Until Saturday.
There wasn't nothing standing.
Now, the people who live in this neighborhood here off South Forbes Road tell me their first instinct was to walk towards the fire, and that's because, as you can see, they live only a few feet from the stockyards.
Well, I come home, I thought it might have been in my house.
You could feel the heat.
And the smoke was black and rolling.
Jeff Broadus told me he has never experienced anything like what he saw and felt as the fire destroyed several businesses.
Then it just went boom and the ground shook.
As the ambulances and fire trucks made their way in to help, Chad Alison and his family watched, but they too were afraid the fire would soon reach their home.
My wife, she got like her little collection of stuff that can't be replaced, you know, ready to go. So we were ready to go. Yeah, it was pretty scary.
I thought I was going to cover our whole house.
The gas lines in these homes were turned off temporarily as a safety precaution, but the homeowners tell me this was a small price to pay for what could have happened.
But other than that, no, everything's fine.
In Lexington. So do you hope they rebuild?
Oh yeah, I hope they do.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
An investigator said today the air around the stockyards has returned to normal. After the fire sent thick black smoke into the air, the Lexington Fire Department said fine solids from the smoke could cause respiratory problems. But state environmental leaders now say the air has cleared and is not a danger to anyone. They say that they will continue to keep an eye on creeks and streams as well in that area at the request of the property owner, but they don't expect to find any problems in the water.
New tonight, investigators say a man was badly injured when a car hit him on a busy Lexington road. The crash happened around 7:30 tonight on New Circle Road near Russell Cave Road. Lexington police say the man was crossing New Circle illegally when the car hit him. Police say he had severe injuries to his legs and a head wound. They say he's now in critical but stable condition at UK Hospital. Police shut down part of New Circle Road while their collision reconstruction unit investigated. That road has since reopened.
A bill that would change Kentucky's informed consent law for abortions has been sent to Governor Bevin. Today, the Senate gave final approval to that bill. It requires a face-to-face meeting or real-time video consultation with a doctor before an abortion. New tonight, Garrett Weimer has reaction.
State lawmakers say they've waited on this for years.
Today, Mr. President, we will give voice to those who cannot speak for themselves.
Last week, the House voted 92-3 to allow real-time video conferencing as a way to meet informed consent requirements before an abortion.
This truly is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is a matter of what is right and what is wrong.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
The Senate approved the bill 33-5.
Senate Bill 4 as amended is finally passed.
Senator Reggie Thomas of Lexington was among 5 senators who opposed the bill. He says the bill's requirements are unnecessary.
To require them, Mr. President, to have a conference either face-to-face or by telephone to explain the obvious is just ridiculous. I see no reason or no purpose for this legislation. I think it serves no benefit to this state or to society.
The bill now goes to Governor Bevin's desk. Minutes after the vote, Senate President Robert Stivers said the governor would sign it into law.
One of the few things I feel certain and that I would guarantee in my 20 years is that Governor Bevin is going to sign this bill.
At the Capitol, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The ACLU of Kentucky said in a statement that Governor Bevin, quote, would be wise to veto the bill. A spokesperson for the governor told our partners at the Herald Leader that Governor Bevin will sign it.
New tonight, a federal grand jury has subpoenaed records for Kentucky Secretary of State Alison Lundergan Grimes' last 2 campaigns. Grimes' attorney says she is not the target of the investigation. The grand jury subpoena relates to finances of Grimes' 2014 U.S. Senate campaign and her 2015 Secretary of State campaign. The grand jury also subpoenaed records of her father, Jerry Lundergan, and 2 of his companies. We now know how much money last month's winter storm cost the city of Lexington. The mayor's office says the city spent $859,000 on snow-related costs. About 60% of that, or $520,000, was spent on salt. The city spent more than $147,000 on overtime, and the city spent $175,000 on contractors who helped streets and roads crews clear snow from roads.
He was in the right place at the right time. New tonight, a Central Kentucky police officer was on his way home from work when he ended up saving a teenager's life.
Shelbyville officer Toby Lewis says he noticed something in a creek off Shelbyville Road in Spencer County, so he pulled over and noticed a car on its side in a creek. Officer Lewis called 911, then walked down to that car.
And the sunroof is open about 1 inch. And I started hearing screaming, "Help me." And then I seen bloody fingers come up to the sunroof.
Police say 17-year-old Taylor Wilson was in the wrecked car. They say emergency crews had to use the jaws of life to free her. Taylor had a head injury and broken ribs, but police say she's expected to recover. Officer Lewis says he normally doesn't take that road home, but for some reason he decided to that night.
New tonight, state police say they're investigating a death at a Central Kentucky livestock center. Police say that just before 3 this afternoon, they received a report about a possible shooting at the Washington County Livestock Center in Springfield. Police say they found a man injured there and he later died at a Louisville hospital. But so far, police have not released many details about the investigation. Also new tonight, police arrested a Harlan County man after they say they found his dog with a serious injury. They charged 39-year-old Ryan Harris with animal torture. Police say they received a tip that his dog had a serious injury, and when they showed up at his home, they say they found his dog with a badly infected leg. Police are not sure how the dog was injured, but they charged Harris because they say he didn't get help for the dog. The dog is now with a vet, but investigators think the dog's leg may have to be removed.
A newly released report says Kentucky coal production has fallen to its lowest level in more than 60 years. The report from the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet says production fell to 61 million tons last year, a 21% drop compared to 2014. Coal production hasn't been this low since 1954. Experts blame oversupply, competition from natural gas, and tougher environmental regulations for the decline.
One of the key future tenants of CenterPoint used social media to vent some frustration about the project today. On Twitter, Jeff Ruby said that no city should have an eyesore in the middle of its downtown for this long. He also used the hashtag shameful. Ruby wants to put a steakhouse in CenterPoint. Last month, Lexington city leaders gave CenterPoint's new developers a 30-day extension to begin work on the site. That extension expires Friday. City leaders say they're waiting on a consultant's report about whether moving to the government center to CenterPoint is a good use of taxpayers' money.
If you need to look at your 2015 vehicle property taxes before filing your income taxes, you can now do that online. The Kentucky Division of Motor Vehicle Licensing is now putting vehicle property tax information on its website. All you have to do is enter your vehicle identification number. The site doesn't show personal information, just the vehicle tax amount you paid. We have a link to that site for you at WKYT.com.